Aubrey. Are you feeling healthy today?
I am feeling healthy. I'm just sort of getting over a cold and I feel great today. What about you?
Yeah, I don't get sick very often.
Nice. Same.
Surprisingly, because if one has children at home, one expects to get sick more often, but I
Right? They're
really
bringing home
don't.
germs from school. That's pretty
Yeah.
standard. But I agree. Somehow I remain immune to all of the school germs.
We're lucky.
Hmm.
So, guys, today we are talking about a specific student question, and we are going to provide some sample answers for speaking part one, health questions. Aubrey, is health a common IELTS topic?
Absolutely. I see it all the time on task two, but also on speaking, it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
You might get it part one, part two, describing a trip to the doctor. It could come up anywhere. You need to be ready with topic specific vocab.
Yeah, exactly. So let's read out this question first.
Okay, here's our question. This is from Shafi in Toronto. Hi, guys. I always enjoy your episodes. Thanks. Today I have a question. My question is, how can I talk to my doctor? Can you please make a topic about visiting a doctor? Thank you very much. And we are co-opting this question for IELTS because yes, you need to be able to talk to your doctor and you also need to be talking about visiting a doctor on IELTS.
And there's really a lot of possible cultural and traditional takes on this
Mm,
because in part three or writing task two, you could be asked about traditional medicine, speaking about preventative medicine versus curative medicine
mm.
is
Those are
always
some
an
band name
interesting
words.
go-to. Yeah.
Hmm.
What does that mean? Preventative and curative.
Yeah, so anything you do to prevent, if you're going to the doctor for a checkup just to make sure everything's great, right? We don't have any lumps or bumps or anything that could cause problems. That's all preventative. You're
Hmm.
just going for a regular annual checkup, and often those are totally covered by insurance because they want you to make sure everything's looking good.
Hmm.
Whereas curative is when there is a problem that needs to be fixed, and now we're going to the doctor to fix something in particular.
Yeah, I find also it's easy to work in the ideas of Eastern medicine versus Western medicine when you're talking
Mm.
about this type of stuff because um, Eastern medicine has a lot more preventative measures than Western medicine does. Like certain herbal supplements or acupuncture or massage or just sort of addressing the
Mm.
body to maintain health, if not increase health, in these quote unquote alternative ways. I consider a lot of that to be preventative medicine. Even exercising, I think, is
Oh,
preventative medicine
absolutely.
to some extent. Whereas curative medicine, we really depend on a lot of Western ideas for that, like surgeries and
Hmm.
pharmaceuticals, right? Pharmaceuticals is a great word instead of saying medicine or drugs, right? Chemical, man made drugs. Um, so that's more on like the Western medicine, the curative side of things. So we really need both, but both of these ideas are important to think about for you guys. So you start to have opinions and ideas and examples about these things because this topic, like we said, does come up a lot on IELTS.
Exactly. You need to be able to write about it for task two in lots of different ways, lots of different takes on that topic. And then also speak about it informally on part one, like the answers we're going to show you today,
Mhm.
or a little more formally for part three questions about how health issues affect society in general.
Yeah, I know that we've done some health sample answers for part three on YouTube, and we've talked about it in, writing task two
Hmm.
ideas. So I'm really happy we're doing some part one questions today because you don't see a lot of examples of this. Usually, when you're looking up material related to health questions in IELTS, it's the formal stuff, it's the difficult stuff. But this could come up in part one as well. So that's why this question was so exciting to see because we're like, yeah, like how do we talk about visiting doctors in an informal way?
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited for this. Let's dive in for some part one questions, and then we'll provide feedback for each other's answers after so you guys can see the vocab we use highlighted and how we're making these answers more informal, even though it's about a topic that you sort of always think about as being pretty serious and formal.
All right, so let's get to the first question. Aubrey, what do you do to stay healthy?
I am a terrible example of this. I know that you should get a lot of sleep to stay healthy, and I have so much difficulty sleeping that I do make some attempts to stop looking at screen, earlier, several hours before going to sleep, and drink a lot of water and try to have like a nighttime routine. All of the things were suggested to get better sleep, but it's not helping. It doesn't do anything. So I'm kind of at a loss for how I can be more healthy.
That was like perfect.
Do you love how my
Um,
answer is actually like, I don't?
I
Right?
know.
Here's an interesting way of saying, like, I know what I should do. Like, it's not working. Whatever I'm doing is not working.
I love the direction you took on that because it shows all of our listeners, all of our students out there, how important it is to just trust yourself and not worry about having a right answer. Because
Absolutely.
you went with the first thing you thought of, right? How I mean, this was top of mind. I need more sleep. I don't feel healthy. And it answers the question, right? And you have fantastic fluency because there's no pauses where you're trying to think of the right answer. The pronunciation, the intonation was very real, very expressive because, again, this is top of mind. This is something you have feelings about. So great sample answer and a few words to point out. First of all, just saying difficulty as a noun. Students use
Mm.
it as an adjective all the time, but saying, I have a lot of difficulty, verb ing. I have a lot of difficulty sleeping. I have a lot of difficulty uh,
Drinking enough
smiling.
water. That's what I have difficulty with. I have difficulty drinking enough water.
Me too. Oh my
Oof.
gosh. Hello, cup of coffee that I just held up for YouTube subscribers. Okay. And then the last thing you said, at a loss. I
Mm.
am at a loss as to how I can do this better. So at a loss is like, I have no idea. I don't know what to do right now. To be at a loss. Such a great phrase.
Yes, that's such a good idiom. I'm glad you pointed that out because it's band six or lower to say, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah,
But if you
totally.
can throw in this idiomatic language to say, I am totally at a loss here, it's increasing your pronunciation because that intonation is interesting and really boosting your vocab score. And you can fit it in anywhere.
And here's something that just occurred to me. Guys, write this down because this is a great filler for difficult questions,
Ooh, yeah.
unfamiliar topics, or questions you just don't know how to answer, right? So if the examiner asks you a really tough question, something you don't know about, you could be like, I'm at a loss for what to say about this topic. Like,
Oh,
that's
that's
perfect.
so
It
good.
buys time to think. It's great vocab. And then remember, like, you do have to say something, connected to the topic, but still, this is a great filler phrase. Okay, let's do one more sample answer. Do you want to ask me one?
Yes. Jessica, do you visit the doctor when you feel sick?
No. Visiting the doctor, honestly, is my last resort because it's so time consuming. You have to make an appointment, and usually that appointment you can't get until like way far in advance because doctors are so booked out into the future. So, like, what's the point? You're probably going to be better by then anyway. And for a lot of, sort of run of the mill illnesses like colds and flus, the doctor can't help you anyway. I mean, there's no magic medicine to make this cold go away faster. Besides, stuff that I can do on my own. I could buy zinc tablets. I could take extra vitamin C. I could drink more, green tea and water and get more sleep. Really, it's just letting these common illnesses run their course, and visiting the doctor would be a waste of time. I did have.
Okay, I'm going to
Okay.
stop you there
Oh
because
no, that was
that's about
long
a
enough.
part one question, and we got to dive into all this amazing vocab you used. First of all, to talk about something being a last resort, right? I go to the doctor as a last resort is such good idiomatic language to say, no, there's lots of other things I would do first. That's my last step when there's nothing else that's going to work, right? And then I know we've talked about this before, but the intonation, if you guys go back and listen to where she says way far in advance, first of all, that slang vocab, instead of saying very far in advance, say way, say super, get that variety of vocabulary to have this more informal vocab and then emphasize it like that. And then great vocab to say booked out. Doctors are booked out, meaning their schedule is full. And then the idiom run of the mill. A run of the mill illness means one that's very common that people get all of the time. And then for an illness to run its course, you said they will probably have run their course is how you said it. This means that an illness will like go through your body and give you all the symptoms and start fixing itself and be done, right? The whole course of everything that happens for the illness. Such great native vocab for all of that you can use in any health topic.
I am proud of that answer.
You
Guys,
should be.
we're definitely going to make this a blog post. Aubrey's going to put all this amazing vocab in there. So go to allearsenglish.com. Aubrey, what number episode is this? This is 1243.
Nice.
So definitely go to allearsenglish.com, search for IELTS Energy 1243. Remember, you can also watch this on YouTube. If you're already on YouTube, listen to the podcast, find the IELTS Energy podcast. And guys, share this podcast if you know anyone who's not just studying for IELTS, but who's learning English just as a fluency goal. I mean, think about this vocab we talked about today, guys. So definitely share this podcast with a friend, and we will see you tomorrow.
Awesome. See you tomorrow, Jess.
Bye.
Bye.